I've been, again, like these guys, I've been in youth ministry a long time. I started in youth ministry when I was 17, and then I was employed as a youth worker in some capacity since the turn of the millennium, which seems a long time ago now. But and I went through a number of choices for, like they asked for the promo stuff for their website. So I don't know if Sarah, you want to hit that? There's a slide. So I sent a whole bunch through. This is the one. Oh, this is Lucy, amazing, Liz. Oh, there. I don't know. Is there somewhere? Oh, this is. Or the other talk. There we go. Thank you. There we are. So this is the one I sent through, looking, slightly demure. But then this is the one I really wanted to use, if you hit the next one through. So, hopefully it's there. Oh, no. This is the one. Yes, so the reason I wanted to use this was, I think when we're thinking about exploring faith with young people, this is probably the reality of what we face. So this was after playing hairdressers with my 2-year-old, Evelyn. And I've actually just been playing netball a couple of days before with our youth team and catastrophized myself. I fallen on the floor, so I was quite injured. So this is what I want to explore a little bit, what it means to explore faith with young people. And hopefully everyone, as we heard this morning already, so brilliantly by Josh, hopefully everyone in this room, we have a passionate heart for young people to know Jesus for themselves, for them to go the distance, for them to have those deep roots, for them to pass their faith on, that we might stand in glory with them all one day singing. That's our heart and our passion. We want to see them get to know Jesus. But I wonder in this chaotic picture whether there's some slightly crazed but truthful truths about how we can help them get there, how we can help them get to know Jesus for themselves. So the first truth, I think, is this. I think if you hit the slide, there should be another one. So we firstly explore faith with young people by joining in. We join in and play. And I think the word exploring faith with young people, the word with is so important. It's not enough to be just sat on the sidelines observing. It's not enough just to facilitate. We need to be engaging fully with them. And I think we're invited as youth leaders by the greatest youth leader of all, by Jesus. He invites us to join in and get involved. So before we do anything else, it's so important that we're exploring our own faith with Jesus, that we are active and present in our own relationship with him. And I'm so convicted as I say this, because in our busyness, that can be the thing that we kind of, trade, isn't it? And really that should be the on-ramp in our whole ministry, that we're reading his word, that we're being stretched in our thoughts, that we're coming to conferences, that we're listening to podcasts, that we're encountering him in nature and culture, that we're talking with him in prayer. And then we do, from that place, from that on-ramp, we then connect with young people at their level, that we hear their highlights and their lowlights. We share and make memories with them. We do life with them, all obviously within safely guided boundaries. But from all that place, we encourage them to join in with Jesus for themselves. As we get close to Jesus, we're encouraging young people to get close to him too. We help them. We open up his word. Amazing. We start from the Bible. We model what it is to worship. We provide opportunity for them to encounter Jesus in wonder. I can watch Evelyn play, but I can help her so much developmentally if I play with her. So young people grow in faith when we join in and play with them too. So the next thing is that it might look a little bit messy at times. Young people, as I'm sure you're well aware, are trying to figure out who the heck they are. They're trying to figure out who God is and how all of that connects together. So sometimes, I'm sure you have this, sometimes young people have amazing revelations, and sometimes they totally miss the obvious. And helping young people explore their faith is just that. We're helping them explore. I was thinking about the path of truth is so well worn, but young people are often trying to find it by hacking through the overgrowth of hormones and exam pressure and anxiety and expectations and identity. They're trying to get to that path of truth, but they're having to cut their way through. And it can be a bit messy, this adventure. But don't be afraid to go on it with them. Don't be afraid of the trial and error. This is so important. It's okay for them and also for us to ask questions. It's okay to wrestle with God. In fact, I think he wants us to. And do you know what? He's big enough to defend himself. That's not our job. And more than anything, it's okay to not know all the answers. I feel very convicted even as I write this, because so often I can hit amazing programming, and yet do I leave space and time and opportunity for the young people to make things a little less neat? I have a very organized run sheet. Do I allow time for there to be a bit of mess? I can find it difficult because someone will say, no, this is easier if you just say, this is the right way, this is the answer, just do this. But are they going to learn? Are they going to grow? Are they going to develop if they haven't had a chance to ask those difficult questions? If they haven't had a chance to get stuck in and serve? Maybe it's the refreshments or leading worship. Or have they had the experiences, the memories, the reality of the biblical truths they're learning about hitting their heads and their hearts? I was thinking, just as Jesus sent out the 12 and the 72 and ultimately commissioned the whole church, it doesn't look perfect. We look at our church, it's far from perfect. But there's a beauty in it, a glorious mess of development and exploration and discipleship. And thirdly and lastly, there's a cost to helping young people explore faith. But it is always worth it. I think of that story when Jesus is talking to the rich young ruler and he walks away. And it pains our heart when we see young people turn their backs, when they stop coming. It will hurt when a young person who is drawing closer to God suddenly gets thoroughly distracted by a part-time job or a relationship. Watch for it. Those are the two things that always happen. Pray against it. And it will make us cry when friendships, when they fall out, when those groups break down, when the dynamics change. And what seems like it was going so well suddenly seems like it's fallen apart. There is pain in this whole amazing adventure of exploring faith with young people. And we will be bruised and battered at times. If you hit that sweet spot in ministry, enjoy it, because it will not be around for long, because it's constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly moving. And in that point, rather than just sacking it off, we need to be ready to double down with Jesus himself. We need to join in, not distance ourselves. We need to go again and find the best way, the new way, the way that the Spirit is moving now for young people to find Jesus for themselves in this culture at this time. And I promise, even though it's painful, it's always worth it. I just want to finish with two pictures that were drawn by the same young person. So on our weekend away in February, this young person was asking loads of questions about Jesus. She was very angry and frustrated with God, kind of all the things that had gone on in her life. She was listening, she was reacting. She drew this actually after the back of the talk about Jairus' daughter. But she was really struggling with Jesus. And it hurt me to see her pain from the past. And it hurt that actually she just couldn't make that step at that time to turn to her greatest healer. And about a month ago, she wrote a note to one of our youth team at the end of the session, and she said, I want to become a Christian. So the youth leader gave it to me, and I went to see this girl on Sunday morning, and I said to her, oh, Mary, like this was given to me. Do you want to do this? Do you want to become a Christian? And she said, yes, which was in itself stunning. We were stood just over here, and there was chaos going on around because in our room, when the service finishes, we have to pack down really quick because people come in for teas and coffees. So we stood in the corner, and I just prayed a really simple prayer of confession of faith with her, and she repeats it back to me, and she says yes to Jesus in this madness of this room. And last night she drew, 2 nights ago, she drew me this picture. And she drew, we've been doing about the cross and about all what has gone on with the cross, and she drew the most amazing theological explanation of the cross. Best thing I'd ever seen. I didn't take a photo of that, actually. She'd kept that. But she also drew this and gave it to me. God has been doing so much in her heart that she could see that actually I was having a bit of a struggle. It was one of those nights where our behaviour management was tricky. Andy is up next to solve us all. But that sense of when our whole culture was being undermined by difficult circumstances. And she wrote this prayer, and she gave it to me. And from that point on, my whole night changed, because I knew that, oh gosh, like God is at work in her life, and God is here, and he will help me. So yes, she's getting to know Jesus more. We're journeying with her. And it's messy and painful at times, but it's definitely worth it. So as I land with 15 seconds to go, I want to encourage you to join in and play. Don't be afraid of the mess. It might hurt at times, but it's worth it. And ultimately, it's Jesus who does it. We just have the amazing privilege to join in and be part of the fun. Thank you.